Hi, my name is Vena. I'm originally from Rare, but I live in Nandi. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm John from Kornabuan, Tafua. I love listening to Today FM. It rocks.
Bula, I'm Teopola.
Bula, I'm Agnesi.
We love listening to Today FM because it rocks in Ba.
Bula, my name is Isal. I've been listening to Today FM.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
Tonight, FICAC charges 17 for LTA corruption. Report reveals Fiji's development is on the up. An education system review on the cards.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption has charged 17 people involved in obtaining either a driving license or a defensive driving certificate through fraudulent means. Out of these, 13 are drivers, while 4 were employees of the Land Transport Authority, including part-time defensive driving instructors and a customer service officer. Pranita Prakash with the story.
Obtaining a license or a defensive driving certificate through inappropriate means will not be tolerated, and FICAC says they will not spare anyone found to be breaking the law.
We continue to receive complaints and we will continue to look into those matters. As far as the Land Transport Authority is concerned, the persons, as I've mentioned to you earlier, we've charged a total of 17 individuals. Of these, they were private individuals and officers from the LTA.
The Land Transport Authority says people need to go through a proper process to obtain a license or certificate, and any corrupt activity will only result in a severe penalty.
Those who actually give the money think they can get the license through shortcuts. They will also be dealt with, and you'll see some of them have been charged.
FICAC says they will be working very closely with LTA as safeguarding the lives of road users was paramount.
These actually were complaints that were received by FICAC from LTA. So the LTA is being proactive, and they are really placing particular emphasis on referring allegations of corruption in their organization, which they suspect, to the Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption to investigate and look into these matters.
The offences took place between 2015 and 2016. The 17 individuals will be taking their plea in the Nasinu Magistrates Court next Tuesday. Other investigations are continuing, with more people likely to be charged if found to have used shortcut methods to obtain a tick. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Fiji has ranked well in the latest Human Development Report from the United Nations Development Programme. The report launched today lists various improvements in Fiji since the study was initiated in 1990. Edwin Nund reports.
Fiji is ranked 91st out of 188 countries surveyed by the UNDP in 2015.
The government has provided focus on such things as access to education, putting in more funding for medical services, but also at the same time addressing areas such as looking after the disabled people a lot more.
We are classified as having high human development. However, Acting Prime Minister Ayasayed Kayum says there's a long way to go yet.
We cannot obviously say, well, you know, we've done this, it's all wonderful. The reality is that all of this can be very quickly unwound. The reality is, as we saw, for example, with Cyclone Winston last year, that wiped off 1/3 of the value of our GDP.
In terms of gender inequality, the report does show an income gap. However, access to education and life expectancy are fairly equal.
And the successes of countries such as Fiji, among others, are all the more remarkable if you look back to where countries were in 1990 when we first started measuring human development.
Aspects such as access to even legal aid does matter. It improves the quality of a person's life, your dignity levels. It also has an impact on your ability to be empowered, to be part of mainstream society.
The government spends about 3% of Fiji's gross domestic product on health and about 3.9% on education. 50% of the population above the age of 15 have jobs, while unemployment is at 7.7% of the total labour force. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
The post-mortem on the father and his 3 kids who are believed to have drowned in the Lambasa River will take place tomorrow. 37-year-old Muhammad Qayyum is believed to have taken his 4 children 10-year-old Mohammed Azhar, 6-year-old Mohammed Ayan, 4-year-old Mohammed Arman, and 1.5-year-old Ahana Kayyum into this boat, took them up the Lambasa River and pushed them into the water. Following this, he is believed to have followed suit. Azhar managed to swim back into the boat and drove it back to the landing. The parents of the 3 girls killed in a house fire on Friday night have been given a $1,000 check from government under its 5 Victims Relief Fund. Karuna Devi and Rajesh Kumar also lost all their belongings in the tragic fire incident. Along with the check, the Assistant Minister for Social Welfare Veena Bhatnagar also handed over some clothes and some personal donation. Bhatnagar says the money is to help the family with their most basic needs. A man who stole over $24,000 in Fiji's first ever internet banking fraud has been found guilty by the Suva Magistrates Court today. Manjeet Singh and an accomplice, who was jailed 2 weeks ago, committed the offence in 2013 and are the first to have been found guilty of such a crime. Shireen Shivan reports.
Manjeet Singh stole $14,000 from one Satnarayan between July and December 2013 by transferring the money into the account of one Arti Reddy, who is a foundation student at the University of the South Pacific. Reddy earlier told the court that Singh borrowed her ATM card, saying his father wanted to send money to her account, which he wanted to withdraw. Reddy was initially reluctant, however later she agreed. Singh withdrew the money from Reddy's account. He again transferred $6,000 from the same person's account and later pocketed the money. The victim Satnarayan used to live with the accused in Nambua, Suva, and told the court that Manjeet Singh had access to his personal items, including his bank card. Narayan discovered the money was missing when he had to pay city rates and found his account at BSP was empty. Later in the same year, Singh targeted another individual, stealing $4,400 from one Devchand's BSP account. Manjeet Singh was caught when a co-accused was arrested and evidence of collusion was found by the police investigators. Rajnil Chaudhary was found guilty of 3 counts of money laundering through internet banking and was sentenced to 8 years imprisonment 2 weeks ago. The court says the prosecution has proved beyond unreasonable doubt that the accused had committed the crime. Manjeet Singh will be sentenced on April 6th. Sharin Shivan, FBC News.
Still to come, education system review on the cards and fair pay structure for civil servants.
हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन ताबुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन ताबुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश ताबुआ में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
One of Fiji's most experienced educators says the education system needs to be reviewed. During the Catholic head teachers and managers meeting this morning, St. Joseph's Secondary School manager, Sister Genevieve Liu, said the current education system does not focus on the scope of the finer aspects of education. Sainiani Boiler reports.
There is so much academic stress.
Sister Genevieve says the current education system focuses on exams and not the reality of life.
And they reintroduced all these exams, and not only introduced exams, but it became just an overload. And the demands are so great that the teachers are burdened by having to sit examination papers and the students are sitting exams.
Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General Ayaz Sayed Kayyum, while officiating at the 2 days meeting, said he agrees that there has been no significant change in the education system in the last few years.
And whether these new reforms are actually having a deleterious impact, but you say it does, and how we can tweak that to suit it to modern 21st Fiji is something obviously that the Ministry of Education will deal with, but most certainly I can take what you've said now to the Minister of Education. I'm sure you'd love to talk to the
Syed Qayyum has also urged all Catholic schools to work in collaboration with all Catholic-related communities to help improve the education network in all Catholic schools around the country. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
The pay structure of civil servants will be reviewed in the next 3 months. The Public Service Commission has set up a job evaluation leadership team to evaluate jobs, set transparent packages and fair salary rates. Civil Service Minister Syed Qayyum says they want to realign the salary structure with the current market. The team has to complete its exercise by July, so the recommendations can be factored into the new budget.
So you are here today to be trained as what they call the accredited job evaluators, which is, of course, you will evaluate the benchmark works. You will independently establish the points and bands for the first tranche of jobs that will then be applied to the new salary scales. Following the benchmarking, you will be called upon to evaluate roles as required under the new guidelines.
Police Cybercrime Unit has identified the individuals obtaining explicit photos of young girls and women via social media. The unit's investigation is focusing on Facebook users who are sharing and commenting on these photos. Ritika Pratap reports.
The Cybercrime Unit is investigating 5 different groups that are allegedly involved in the circulation of inappropriate pictures on social networking sites.
In the nature of the images that are being posted, we are trying to identify all those who have uploaded the images and all those who have commented, and to locate them so that they can assist us in our investigations in terms of telling us where did they get the image from, was there any benefit or any monetary transaction that took place.
ASP NICO says they have received information that money has been offered for the photos, and once sent, it is shared with other users and posted on closed groups.
Section 377 of the crime decree deals about trafficking in obscene publication. It is very clear that any person who deals in those type of adult content material, whether it's for public exhibition or distribution, it's an offense.
People are being warned to be extra cautious when using social media.
Not divulge and share their confidential information to total strangers. You need to be very diligent. You need to think smartly, act smartly, and then behave smartly.
The Cybercrime Unit says circulation of pornographic material via social media has been prevalent for some time now, but is on the rise locally now as more people have access through social media. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Thousands of Fijians in the lower reaches of the Rewa Delta can expect better water supply in the coming months. The Water Authority of Fiji has embarked on $3.7 million in major capital works to upgrade pipelines in and around the area. WAF's CEO Opetai Ravai says work will begin next month on a new water main at the Wainimbokasi Bridge, as well as the installation of multiple air valves to the system there.
We have started a project in laying the pipes from the water treatment plant, the Loma Road, and eventually we will have to run a 400 mm pipe from the rail depot right to this end of the Rewa Bridge. So these are works that we will improve the pressures and the flows into this area that we've talked about.
Just a day after the NFP distanced itself from any talk of a coalition with SEDELPA, and another political party does the same. The Fiji United Freedom Party has rubbished any coalition proposal by SEDELPA leader Sitiveni Rambuka. The FUFP says it disagrees with Rambuka's declaration that Fijians will vote on racial lines. FUFP leader Jagat Karunaratne says he also disagrees with Rambuka's claims that SEDELPA will absorb Indo-Fijian candidates that win seats under other party banners. Karunaratne says he doesn't agree with Rambuka's racially divisive comments and is calling on Fijians not to vote on racial lines. The NFP is also alarmed by Rambuka's statements, saying the SEDELPA leader's announcements are creating confusion amongst NFP members and supporters. It seems that political parties are getting increasingly nervous of any suggestions of a coalition with SEDELPA. Labour leader Mahendra Chaudhry could not be reached for comment for a third day in a row. And later on in sports, Jamie has all the details about Suva Zone 1 athletics competition. But next up, we have Rachel, who will tell us about the latest shopping mall in Lautoka.
Yes, Jackie, coming up in Go in Fiji tonight. The brand new Tapu's Mall in Lautoka partially opens. And in business, Fiji Airways extends US service. Stay with us.
I'm from Nekota and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Stanley Goodler and I'm from Australia, but I'm part Fijian from Watraki and I love listening to Today FM Rocks.
For the best music and less talk, we tune into Today FM in Nasilai Village. Today FM rocks.
My name is Inai Ali and I'm from Ba and I love the big breakfast on Today FM. I just love it and hope you love it too.
My name is Jay from La Paz. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Naushin and I'm from Sambeto and I love Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In business tonight, Fiji Airways has extended its seasonal San Francisco to Nadi flights to a year-round service. The direct flights began mid-2016. The new year-round service sees the Fijian carrier fly between the two destinations twice a week, increasing to 3 times a week in a busy season from June through August and in December. Fiji Airways Managing Director and Chief Executive Andre Filion says the extension out of San Francisco shows their position as the premium carrier for Fiji and the South Pacific. Planning for the next 5 years was the main point of discussion at the Fiji Crop and Livestock Council Partners meeting today. Permanent Secretary for Agriculture Jitendra Singh told participants to set a strategic plan which would set a platform for a successful livestock industry in the country. Strengthening of Farmers Association, filling gaps in technical services and advocacy of being Fiji's farmers' voices were also discussed. Singh is hoping the FCLP strategy plan matches that of his ministry.
Has been a major stakeholder in this consultation process, and we are confident their own strategic plan will deliver some of the fundamental expectations of the ministry's strategies.
The United Kingdom has finally made it official. They've pulled out of the European Union. And here's Elizabeth from HFC Bank to tell us its impacts.
UK Prime Minister Theresa May officially triggered Britain's exit from the EU yesterday by invoking Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty. This led to the British pound slipping 0.1% and the euro 0.5% against the US dollar. Article 50 starts 2 years of negotiations and the outcome will shape the future of Britain's £2.6 trillion economy, the world's 5th largest. It will also determine whether London can maintain its place as one of the top 2 global financial centres. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has already rejected May's demand for trade talks in parallel with the withdrawal. Meanwhile, European Council President Donald Tusk called for an orderly exit with a clear goal of minimizing the cost for EU citizens, businesses and member states. Vinaka, and back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Elizabeth. On to today's exchange rates. The Chinese yuan and the American dollar strengthened against our dollar to close at 3.26 and 47 cents. The Australian and New Zealand dollar weakened to close at 61 cents and 66 cents. Meanwhile, the PNG Kina rose to close at 1.32. Onto the commodities market, oil rose to close at $49.35 a barrel. Gold dropped and closed at $1,251 an ounce. And silver rose to close at $18.17 an ounce. And in Growing Fiji tonight, Tapu City Mall in Lautoka was live with activity today at the opening of the Home and Leisure section and the department store. While the mall is in its final stages of construction, the partial opening attracted a number of customers. Alan Stalls with the story.
The new Tapu department store is one of many other outlets set to open in this massive 86,000 square feet of retail, food and entertainment space.
We saw an opportunity here in Lautoka. Lautoka didn't have this sort of facility that we have in Suva, Tapu City Suva, and we had a lot of feedback from people of Lautoka and in fact people from the entire Western Division saying, why don't you do something like this? It's been a massive investment, but it was all very well planned.
The group expects to draw around 70% local customers, with tourists comprising the other 30%. Mahen Tapu adds this $30 million shopping complex is but a few weeks away from being completed. But already, a lot of people have come here for a new shopping experience.
Otherwise, this is pretty much a first for Lautoka, and it's pretty good.
Finally, I think Gloria Jeans is in Lautoka, so for me, I love Gloria Jeans.
We have been waiting for this for some time now, and finally it has opened, and it's worth the wait.
The signature grey complex has a good sum of unique offerings that sets it apart from other buildings in the city and is sure to attract the attention of Lautoka's 50,000 population. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
And that's a wrap from the business desk. Sports is up next, and here's Jamie to tell us what's coming up.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports after the break, the latest from the Fiji Sevens team that left for Hong Kong today. And record breaker eyes Fiji finals medal. This and more coming up.
Warong na radio Fiji 1.
Bulan arango fina wa korviri nandi au talitaka na warongo na radio Fiji 1 na programa ni masmasu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai bunangoro na makete hinga toka kwe do talitakina na warongo na radio Fiji 1 bina na domo ibiti.
Na radio Fiji 1 na domo ibiti na bonga ni BNN.
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens team left for Hong Kong today. And while the players feel the pressure to win Fiji's favourite title for the third time in a row, they're asking fans for their patience and support as they chase their first title of the season. Vasnil Prasad reports.
Final goodbyes from Captain Karaji's Osea Kolinisau and his team as they left with hopes of bringing back the Hong Kong Sevens title home.
Win this tournament and especially learning from the last two tournaments, and we wanna come back with the Hong Kong title.
Kolinisau knows the road to victory won't be easy task at the Mecca of the Sevens.
It's always a tough pool game. Every pool game now is a quarter-final, and we have New Zealand, Wales, and Japan. You cannot underestimate any opponent. So we're gonna take one team at a time and one game at a time.
Hong Kong, a special place also for coach Gareth Baber, who is out to prove critics wrong.
It's special for me going back to Hong Kong. I want to perform, but most of all my job is to make sure that these boys get their mental game right and make sure that they know exactly how to win, and they know how to win in Hong Kong for certain.
With high expectations, the players are banking on the support from home and also in the old British colony.
We'll give our best, play to the best of our ability, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll make ends meet. Just a message to the citizens of Fiji: pray for this team and be patient with us.
There hasn't been so much to celebrate this season, but hopes are this will change in the next fortnight. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Vodafone Fiji football coach Christophe Gamel is looking forward to grooming younger players for national duties. With the pressure of World Cup qualification now history, Gamel is shifting his focus to developing future stars with the help of current senior players.
I will change. Now I can change because unfortunately we are out of the World Cup. So I will take risk, input some young player because we have to prepare the future from now. But I keep some senior players that can help the small seed to grow.
23 schools took part in the Super Zone 1 competition at the ANZ Stadium today, with hundreds of students all chasing a place for the Fiji finals next month. For one field athlete, setting a new zone record was a welcome surprise, but is still wary of the competition he's yet to face. Vastal Prasad has more.
This was the jump as Nasinu Secondary School's Sakiusa Rayawa set a new zone record in the senior boys long jump. Rayawa jumped a distance of 6.75 meters, breaking the 6.74 meters record.
So far it's been quite tough enough.
And how you feel breaking 2 records so far?
It's kind of surprised.
Next month's Fiji final will be special to him after finishing 4th last year.
Competition will be quite tough from Natambua, from those two, Kitchen and Garcio.
The turnout from the 23 schools was huge as their officials staggered to create history in the Coke Games.
Past years is always Zuba 2 and the Thai level zone, and now the Lautoka zone, who has been, very much on the par. And we hopefully Suva Zone 1 will do a bit of change this year and challenge all those big schools.
It's not the end for the athletes participating here in the Suva Zone 1. They have to prepare for the biggest competition, which is the Coca-Cola Games next month. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Fijian NRL star Semi Randrandra is willing to delay his move to French rugby after declaring his availability to join the Fiji Mbati for the World Cup later this year. Mbati coach Mick Potter only this month said he would more than likely not consider Randrandra for the mid-season test against the Cook Islands, given he wouldn't be around for the World Cup. However, Randrandra's announcement will be welcome news for the national coach. Meanwhile, earlier this week, the FNRL confirmed that Mick Potter and his team is currently monitoring players who could potentially make the Mbati's side for the World Cup.
We have met with Mick Potter and his team, who are selecting the team from competition in Australia, and there is a standard criteria that he uses to select the teams, and there are players who have indicated their willingness to play for Fiji. We've got a list of 40 plus players that are currently playing NRL.
The Oceania National Olympic Committee Solidarity Forum rounded up its 3rd day of meetings in Nadi today, with its General Assembly to take place on Saturday, where Fiji's Dr. Robin Mitchell is set to be re-elected for another 4-year term. Other Pacific Island members have acknowledged Fiji's leadership and standards.
I have to say Fiji National Olympic Committee and Fiji Sport has really led the Oceania, the Pacific, in many of its programs, and we really look up to Fiji as the big brother and a big sister to sort of guide and assist us.
That's it from sports this evening. Angie joins you with a weather update later on, and in our new media segment, check out the recently unveiled Samsung Galaxy S8.
Na radio Fiji 1. Bulan na rango fina wa koradiri nandi au talitaka na barongo na radio Fiji 1 na programa ni masmasu na mataklailai.
Oya ochone kurinambila mai bunangoru na makete hinga toka kwe do talitakini na barongo na radio Fiji 1 kenya na domo ibiti.
Na radio Fiji 1 na domo ibiti na vonga ni BNN.
First look of the Galaxy S8 and Galaxy S8 Plus, easily the best looking smartphones of the year so far, thanks to what Samsung is billing as an infinity display that runs side to side and almost top to bottom. And now we turn to weather with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Today began with a few early morning showers but turned into a great day to be active outdoors, sunny, warm with light breezes. It was great weather for the high school Suva Zone 1 athletic competition at the stadium, but just a tiny bit warm for sports. Glad I wasn't out there sprinting on the track. Now let's check out what the day was like in the west. It was partly sunny with most centers hitting 30 degrees. Ba was hottest at 33. Moderate rainfall is expected overnight, just like the past couple of days. Eastwards from Pakhava to Suva, it was a gorgeous sunny day with high humidity, of course. And up towards Vanuatu and Taveuni, the skies were clear with gentle winds and warm temperatures. At sea, easterly winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, the next high tide tonight will be at 8:25 with a low tide tomorrow morning at 2:36. In case you don't get up that early, sunrise will be at 6:12. For tomorrow, the day that gets all the attention, Friday. It will be clear in the east while the north will get the showers. Tomorrow's temps, Suba, Lambasa and Savu Savu will have highs of 29 and lows of 24. And looking further on to Saturday, the weather will continue as much as it has been in the last few days. And that, Jackie, is FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji Pulse today, we asked what should be done to help those with depression.
People who depressed, they should come forward and seek help.
I think most people get depressed from work, and I think they should talk to some friends and seek advice.
The sense of depression is lack of sleeping and too much drinking.
Sense of depression is people are no talking to another person and isolate themselves.
Recapping the main stories, FICAC charges 17 for LTA corruption. Report reveals Fiji's development is on the up. An education system review on the cards. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, should a train system be put in place to curb peak hour traffic? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go on to tonight's shot of the day, sent in by Amit Narayan, showing the rainbow out around the Nandi Airport area after an afternoon downpour. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. Until next time from the team and I, good night.
कमल रोशनी है, हम लोगों में रहते हैं और मिर्ची एफएम सबसे बेस्ट स्टेशन है।
हमारा नाम मेसी है, हम गोल्ड टाउन तापुआ में रहता है और मिर्ची इज हॉट इन तापुआ।
Hi, we Bagels. We love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
निवेश तापुआ में रहता हूँ, सुनता है यहाँ मिर्ची एफएम is very hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.